We have reclaimed a privately owned public space and transformed it into an activist center and encampment.
This is just the culmination of a lot of frustration, and it's been building for a long time now. We've been heading down a path of some unbelievable wealth distribution like it's never really been seen before since the Middle Ages. And this is what happens. You drive people into a corner and they're going to stand up and push back.
My biggest thing is student debt, because I go to an art school that's like 55 plus a year, and I'm like investing in a future that I don't know exists. Like, I'm a writing major, what job can I get with that, and why should I sacrifice my dreams because of all this, you know?
I'm kind of worried about the future. I would like to be part of the movement as I see it to change the status quo, basically. Like, I've been saying for a long time that things aren't right and that there needs to be something done about the way that things are owned and distributed, so that's basically why I'm here.
I'm from Vermont. I believe very strongly in this. I've been wanting this to happen for a long time, and I had to come down here to the, ground zero, so to speak, of where it all started, in a lot of ways, actually. And yeah, just had to come down here and show some support for as long as I could.
The current state of the job market is pretty pathetic. The majority of my friends have various degrees and are unemployed.
If you want to sell candy bars and stationery, you might be able to find a job if you want to work in a supermarket. But if you want to make it like our grandparents had a way of making it, it's just, you have to pay the price. You have to go get a $200,000 education in order to get a job. And if you don't have that education, you are discriminated against by banks for loans. You're discriminated in a lot of ways.
We're like living in like the worst time to find jobs, and I'm like accumulating so much student debt that I don't know what is left for me. Like, my whole future is just a blank slate. Like, it's just one big question mark.
I think the government should actually be stimulating the economy and not bailing out the banks. It's should have public roads projects, fixing our infrastructure, trying to make our infrastructure more modern so we can have a modern economy. If that's what the government is supposed to do, they should be regulating. If they hadn't completely deregulated the financial system, we would have never had the crash. We would have never had all those bad mortgages being sold overseas as securities, being packaged up and gambled on by Americans, just to see what happens, see how much we can make money out of nothing.
I would like to remove corporate interests from our political system. That would mean that corporations would not be able to fund politicians. Universal health care, meaning that the Medicaid cuts that just happened, would not go through. Do I think that reform is what we need? No, I think it's a systemic problem. Systemic meaning they're going to keep reproducing themselves until we get to the root of it, which is that our government is specifically set up to protect the upper class. There is no division between corporate and political interests now, but there should be.
I think a redistribution of wealth, like in terms of a wealth tax, would just change everything. Like, there's such an inequality in between the upper middle class, the corporate giants, and then there's just people who have nothing, and like, we're all just trying to get by.
Yeah, I feel like the youth definitely are going to get involved, because otherwise there's not going to be anything for us. And I think that we realize that we are outnumbering the baby boomers, and they're going to be retiring, so we need to step up and fill those roles, and we're not just dumb kids. Like, we can do it.
Well, if the youth doesn't get involved, then it's not a movement. That's all there is to it, because you need to have the rejuvenation every so often.
The majority of people here are under 35. The youth involvement is the involvement. I wish that we had an elders council. I wish that we had more experienced activists here. We do have some. I've been trained by 60-year-old activists who have been doing this for a long time, but it is largely a youth movement, but that's always, I feel.
I would say that it's never too early to start educating yourself and taking control of your own life, because before you know it, you can be set on a path that you never intended and is out of your control, or at least feels like it. So the earlier that you realize that you're in control of your own life, the better off you are, and nobody can push you around.
When you're that age, it's so easy to just think that these problems are above you and that as an individual you have no choice, and just to almost feel powerless in all of this. But they're the ones that are inheriting all of this. So I think it's so important to just start young, do anything.
It feels like we're finally able to have a voice that is loud enough for everyone to hear. And it's not just a few complaints. It's now a movement.
I don't think necessarily, if this gets shut down, which I don't, it probably will sometime soon, I don't think it will disappear, it's creating a spirit that I don't think can die, So if we aren't physically here, it doesn't mean that we're not thinking about it.
Close up the shops and board up your doors. Here we come, we're coming no more. Don't put down your cash, fill up your gas. Give me the keys and I'll throw it all back. I remember when the days we worked on. Here we come, here we go. Occupy will show the world what to do, but not if you're here to climb walls. Not at all. Occupy everything and do it together. Don't give up, not even for weather. Occupy everything and do it today. Bring on the snow, bring on the rain.
I have tapped into a radical community in New York City that I had been looking for my entire life. I was born here. I can't tell you how good it feels to see people in New York City talking to each other in this way.
Give up your hat and beat them all back. We don't need no convicts or crack. None for your jobs. Throw them in a ditch. Call me right up and give me your fix. There's a short story about when we first get the lights, get the mic. Occupy will show the world what to do, but not if you're here to make the call. Not at all. Occupy everything and do it together. Don't give up, not even for weather. Occupy everything, do it today. Bring on the snow, bring on the rain. Occupy your